I'll be right on. I'm gonna grab some coffee, get the link sent over to the Discord. All right. Sorry about the delay. I was super laggy and I was needing to close some stuff out on my laptop. Apparently, I was had too many things open. I was not happy. I wanted to play music for you while we were waiting for uh, me to get ready and everything else, but the Spotify app was loading up everything too much. So no cam. I see myself. What do you? I have myself running on my iPad next to me. I can see my stream, and I look fine. So what do you mean, Jordan? No cam app. You mean new? New cam? Yeah. Yes, I have a whole new system going on right now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, morning. New. Oh, good. I was like saying no. You're worrying me like I was like something's wrong. Yes, I've got some new stuff to show everybody today. I have the new background software. I have my little label there on my screen. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It was just a mistype and I wasn't thinking straight. So yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Yep, I got some new fun stuff to show you guys. We're gonna cover a bunch of stuff. We're gonna go over orb. We're gonna go over gold. We're gonna go over utilities. We're gonna go over energy. We're gonna go over anything else you guys want to pull out and check on stuff. I have some numbers to run on Ethereum and ETH. I have that pulled up over here, and I'm still glitchy, so hopefully that kind of calms down. I'm not sure what else I can close. Let's see. It's so funny. So like I was on last night pretty late doing a live, and everything was perfect. I ran music, no glitches. It was great. And of course today, when things are needing to run smoothly, they're going to be all glitchy. So as long as my voice isn't glitchy, who cares about my camera, right? Just got a notice saying Cerebrus is holy cow. Yeah, Cerebrus did run this morning. $34 up. Wow, that's crazy. That's one I never really got into. Should have. There was a bottom back there in July. And that thing ran from like $50 at a time. That's crazy. All right, let's see. Um, we're gonna do. Well, that's okay, man. It was just running some stuff. You know, no big deal. Just having some fun. I was playing some gold futures is all. Nothing, nothing crazy special. So, all right. So as always, we have the lifetime monthly payment option here in the link. We have code now, which is expiring soon for 40% off of that. So that brings it down to about $253 a month. And man, my stuff is struggling today. I'm gonna shut everything down, see what helps. Go right down to the very bare minimums here. Golly. All right. I've got everything shut down except for the browser and a few tabs. So my computer needs to just chill the frick out. Take this off. I even have other stuff plugged in. I'm like bare bones in it right now. This is crazy. All right. Anyways, that being said, get your tickers ready. Get your tickers ready. Get your tickers ready for some technical analysis stuff. We're gonna go over a bunch of different things, and hopefully my system can handle it. In the meantime, we need to play some stuff. So here we go. All right. So yes, we needed to show the non-financial advice. A little video clip. I've got some more stuff going on. I want some more people to join though. Only have a few right now before I do the big intro video. It's a fun one. I've already shown the experts in our channel, but I think this is going to be a good day. So here we'll go over some numbers quick. So on ETH, this is a leveraged. Basically, it's an ETF based off Ethereum, and if you zoom all the way out, this thing has ran just crazy, crazy, crazy numbers. And so I was covering this last night, saying in the amount of run it did to get back to that mid orb level there at 167, the price point, you could spend $2,000 right now and get one Ethereum, or you can spend $2,000 on 125 shares of the Ethereum ETF, ETH, and then if this thing was to run back to the current, or it's not current, the most recent lower high, this guy right here, you'd net $18,000 off of the 2,000 buy-in. Where if Ethereum ran to the exact level it was at this date in time, you'd only be making upwards of maybe 1,500. So to me, when I look at these things, it's like, why would I want to really cap off my profit at maybe 2,500 max of the last prior highs versus going off of something like this that is highly leveraged in the sense we have already crashed so far down, and pretty much this is the lowest it's been ever, only upside at this point. So that's more like, I like Ethereum, or ETH, I'm sorry, that tracks Ethereum because of this situation. Now, when you have leveraged stuff, it does not always run the way that you historically want it to do, like normal stocks can do. NEBX and MBIS. So Nebis and Nebius, and then Nebix is the leveraged stock off of Nebius. And I was in Nebix for the last 3 or 4 months with this Nebius run. And I was testing it to see if buying in cheaper really ran it the same way. Ironically, I checked today, and Nebius is nearly at the last prior high, where Nebix is still lagging, I would say, pretty significantly. So the NAV erosion really did happen on the leveraged Nebix that bases off of Nebius. And so you do have to watch that. So historical highs on leveraged accounts like this, it does not guarantee a return to any of these highs because of that restructuring erosion that they go through. Now, it doesn't mean that it won't get near this stuff, and you still might benefit a lot more on buying this than buying in one Ethereum because of the price point. So that's my take on it. Is I want to see how this is going to run together, and I'm just giving you the details for you to have your own experiments and your own ideas on this, and thinking, well, if I buy one Ethereum at 2,000, it runs back to the highs, I'm only getting $2,000. I got to buy 5, 6, 10, right? And that's a lot of money. But potentially things like this, like ETH or BMNR even, that's kind of an unknown one at this moment, right? They might run better per the price you'd spend on one Ethereum. All right. So I want to cover ETH because a lot of people don't know about this stuff. We have a lot of new members in our Discord, and I know when Ethereum was high, there was a lot of us that were in ETH and made a flipping ton of money, and also lost a lot of that if you didn't sell up high because it crashed all the way down here to 16. Or, well, 10 was the lowest. So the reason I'm starting to buy back in is because this kind of an ugly double bottom right here, marked out by these little purple curves, and then of course that red line. It might be wrong, and we are getting very, very close to the pinch point here on this pendant, and so we'll see what happens. It's one for you guys to keep in mind, and it might do really good. It just needs crypto to run. So yeah. And all right, so that being said, we can drop over to gold. Gold has been very interesting. Let me turn off some stuff and show you what this thing has done in the last really only a few months. So this is a zoom out for the year. Of course, we know gold has ran crazy. Of course, then we know it dropped down. But luckily, we did hit this really nice support line right around here. And it held beautifully in this channel. I'd say pretty much off of... We're going to go with that. That's okay. So this channel was quite long. The mid-June, roughly, to the breakout happened in early first week of August. So for a very long time, I don't say very long time, for 2 months roughly, this thing just held in this channel. And I like that because it shows that we did not drop into this like staggered low. Now, could this just be a fake? This is why I had that thumbnail of a gold bull trap, right? Trap, or is it a rally? Because that's kind of where I feel. Is this a consolidation before a further drop? We had this breakout, but is it actually going to be sustained, or is this just a giant trap to pull in retail investors, especially, and then crash down? The reason why I'm leaning toward not being a trap is mostly because we're seeing a huge amount of global purchases into GDX miners, especially not necessarily GLD or gold. GDX has actually ran first before GLD did. If we zoom out to, we're going to do 3 months. We're going to actually add GLD on this and see how correct I am. Same scale. There you go. So GLD for the same percentage price points for movement, okay? GLD is the blue line, and you can actually see how the GDX, the miners essentially, the giant ETF that tracks all of the mining companies, they ran first, right? And it's funny because historically, when we look at GDX in comparison to GLD, whenever there was a giant run on gold, GDX or the miners actually forefronted that run. And then as they kind of calmed down and plateaued, gold prices, gold spot and GLD took off and matched. Then they ran together. So it's a bit ironic that this is happening while oil is also somewhat high, still have oil problems in the Middle East. So what I am considering is that we're kind of smart money and global money is realizing oil ran. They made a lot of money following oil and selling futures on oil, things like that. We have Chevron, Exxon that all have really nice returns on oil. But the global market is also getting strained by the price point that high oil is doing. So what I really think they're doing is they're going back to what gold historically has been, store of value. So because GDX has run and now is plateaued, we're waiting for gold to start taking off to match. And if we break this level, I think right about here with GLD, and we hold this area right there on GDX, we're going to be entering a new rally. Now, how far will this rally go? I'm not sure. Will it be like the last one? I mean, it could be because we didn't have even oil issues back in that when that ran. That was just economic worries and stuff, which we definitely have at this point. So it's going to be interesting to watch gold, and usually this thing starts to move at least a month, 6 weeks before any big issue happens. Gold is definitely one of those that likes to do things before anything else. So definitely keep an eye on gold for levels above where we're at now, essentially. If we can hold this or similar, then we have created a bottom in my mind, and we'll go from there. And there's a lot of things happening, like right here, gold miners surge and retail piles in. Retail has influence in the market. It does, especially now with the day trading thing being gone. It has influence, but I don't believe retail has enough money to push significant numbers on gold versus the entire world of smart money, right? The institutions. So we're seeing more of an actual options chain piling into gold on larger scale than I believe retail can do. So that's just my take on it. But I'm already in GDXU. I'm already in GDXW. That's the weekly dividend. GDXU is leveraged, and I have not played any like long calls on GLD yet. I want to kind of wait to make sure this is going to hold before I start placing stuff like that. But that's my take on gold. I was hoping for more viewers at this point by the time I showed you this intro video, but you know what? We're already here, and you guys have been already on, and I appreciate you, so you get to see the first view. Fun little intro video I was gonna play earlier on, but my computer keeps lagging, so I was hoping to give it a break before I play that for you guys. Trying to make this entertaining besides just listen to me talk, you know. So yeah, my camera's still lagging crappy. Man. Hopefully this thing wakes up. Need some coffee. Apparently I gave my computer Red Bull last week. He did not like that. So I'm lucky I even have this thing running the way that Red Bull was pouring out of the fans. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. It was bad news. All right. So we have one more video to show you, but it's the ending credit clip type of deal. And so stick around for the ending video. I will try not to go long today and try to be on time with ending in about 35-40 minutes. Unless you guys have a lot more to talk about, then we can move, forward to that. But let's see. Oh, looks like Iran eye roll. 60-day deadline for U.S.-Iran agreement has officially passed without. Oh, never mind. Without a deal. Okay, I thought it mentioned that Iran had a deal again. So no deal. 60 days have passed. Now it's failed. Shocker, right? So, utilities. I've been tracking utilities. I've been using some AI on this to kind of talk about like the potentials of utilities running, and AI said that it's due for a big rally because it's just kind of been flat for a while. I don't know. I mean, it's true. It really hasn't done much in really almost a year. We're nearing a year since this channel has formed. There is a trend line coming up right here, and I don't know. If this is anything historic, right? We ran a channel and then jumped $5-6, ran a channel along this line, jumped $5-6. They're calling for a $56 high. Did some research on this last night, and that's what they're saying. I feel like that's true, but I also feel like utility companies are spending a lot of money. There's a lot of debt they're holding, though their service is required for everybody first world, right? So like natural gas, electric, water, it's required for our lives, so they're not going to go away. But here's some news. Bank of America sounds alarm and extreme bullishness. ETF soft defensive play. That's utilities. So I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to get in some of this. I'm already in some water. Watts water. Actually, I've already been in that, and that's actually been significant. A little pricey, but it's interesting. If you watch things that are required for our lives, uh, they will be boring and then they will pop crazy. So, like utilities has just kind of been kind of boring. But I mean, if you look at the price ranges here, uh, we had this low and then it popped up here $5. So, if you had some long calls on this near the trend line, which we are now, right? Now, it wasn't near trend line here, but it was near a low. So we have a potential for this thing to actually jump back up to the $5, roughly $3 to $5 mark, and then break out. So here's another opportunity for you guys to jump into something that's different. Long-term play for sure. This is not going to be a quick runner, and it's going to be volatile. But point of control up here is at 45. We're at 43, or no, I'm sorry, yeah, 44 right now. So that's a $1 move to the point of control, which is the stronger support levels. And like I said, price target does have this at 56, which is ironically up here at this trend line. So I don't know. I'm kind of liking it, at least for a long-term play. If you go all the way out 5 years, it has had a decent upside since 2024. $30 to $45. Now, granted, that's 2 years to get you only a few dollars. But if you're in something that just you want a solid, just, play on, you got this. Plus, you have some dividends. It's not crazy, but it's something. So, there's just the utilities it's just my job here is to show you what's out there, what I'm researching, what I'm looking at, what smart money is kind of moving into. And this is one of them. This is one of them that smart money has been putting money into. The other one is XLE, which is the large ETF on energy. And again, in the 5 year weekly, we can see a pretty significant plateau through most of 24 and 25. And then recently, I'm assuming, with the whole, oh my gosh, data centers, the data center requirements in AI, we've ran from 45 now up to 62. So if you want a faster play with something that might do well, maybe XLE is your call. And if you go to Google and ask it about smart money call option chain, it actually will tell you there is a large, I think it's a massive amount of calls piling into XLE for end of the year. So, and to me, XLE and XLU being utilities, they're kind of mixed, right? XLE is more energy based, and so it's going to be a little different, but they're similar. So, in my mind, you're not going to be too far off by getting into XLE over XLU. And if I come down here to the hourly, I have already marked off this wedge with a breakout. So we did a slight drop down overnight. I won't say confirmation, but it kind of came down lower and then ran it here at open. So at this point, I would keep an eye to see which way it's going to go from here. Are we going to go up, or are we going to come down to retest this line and then up, or are we going to fail? Those are the three options that I've got for XLE at this point. But being that smart money has been piling into this before the rate cut, or rate hike, I should say, the FOMC next month, it's interesting. And we did have a breakout here from this little channel to this one. So the only way this is gonna fall, man, my camera is not happy. Only way this is gonna fall is if we have if we have an AI bubble burst where suddenly we don't need these data centers, we don't need these giant power plays, and then we see, oops, we were wrong, and so that will hit, it'll hit everything. Tech will explode. The market will be super unhappy. QQQ is going to fall off a dang cliff, energy is going to crash because now they realize you're not needed, you know. So it's going to be crazy if that was to happen. But if you look at this chart here, you know, this thing is pretty wild. But we did have a little of a breakout across this multi-tap trend line. 1, almost 2, 3, 4, 5 breakout. So, you know, I like it. I do. And then we did have a stock split, by the way, if y'all didn't know. Last December, this thing was twice as high, and we had a stock split. So it was twice the price it is now. Just so you're aware. So I'm enjoying the fact that energy has risen, pulled back, and retested the highs, and now broken out. So if we were to guesstimate a let's just go with the lows to the breakout, all right? And we were to go up to the top of the breakout now, you know, I would look at a potential of $68 as the next run up to a plateau if we go off of the, you know, the bottom before it broke out to, we're going to average it to the middle and then make that the high. You know, roughly we're looking at 72 from 62, so $10 move. Then of course you have time. The biggest issue here is, will AI hold on? Will AI allow energy to keep going, or is this going to be a huge giant problem? As oil continues to be high, this will push. So my concern here is that if we have smart money piling into XLE, are they hedging that the Iran stuff's going to not end soon and oil will get worse? And then therefore they're going to make money on here, kind of consolidating their money versus just going right into USO or oil futures. They're going to put it into XLE, which actually is 36% of XLE is Chevron and Exxon. So they XLE is basically ran 1/3 of it, roughly a little more than 1/3 of it is just simply Exxon and Chevron. So, you know, if you want more specifics, you might as well just go run on Chevron, to be honest. But to make it more safe, though not as lucrative, you have XLE. So I'm here to give you ideas, right? I'm here to show you what's out there, what's happening, breakouts, and then you decide for yourself what you want to do. Okay? Chats are a bit quiet out there today. So what do you guys want to focus on? That's kind of the biggest stuff that I've got for you. You know, we covered ETH. We've covered I'm still laggy, man. We've covered ETH, we covered gold, we've covered XLE and XLU. So the utilities, the energies. Oh, by the way, where is it? We're gonna go this one. Apparently, Google was telling me that Next Era Energy is actually one of the favorite energy stocks of those ETFs, both XLU and XLE. Over 10% of their top 10 holdings is Next Era Energy. So I find that interesting. I would not have thought that this would be that significant, but apparently it is. So just so you're aware, the market's really loving NEE. I wouldn't have thought, but that's what they said. And I looked at the holdings, and it's true. So might be good to start dabbling in some maybe some, if this could pull down a bit more to this average low here around 78.80. If we get some drop under the 50, you know, hit something down here 72, 74, and maybe it's worth some leaps. Some long calls. I don't know. I don't know. Or if nothing else, you could just pile into XLE. It is a tad cheaper. It obviously isn't going to move as much though. So, you know, some ideas. That's my job. Showing you what's out there, showing you what direction and trend things are going, smart money, that kind of stuff. So, oh, all right. Aragon, hey, he was out there. Yeah, I'm not sure what you were on last night. Thank you for joining, by the way. Got a question on options. What's the difference on zero DTE and stocks that are 3 day minimum? Is there more fee closing a 3 day minimum option fast than fees? No. For options, there's no. I mean, there is a fee. It's just like a Fed fee. It's for Robinhood. It's pennies. It's not. It's not anything. I honestly haven't even considered looking at the differences on the fees between zero DTE or holding for a few days. I don't. I don't. That would be an easy Google question. You know. Uh, Normally, fees are considered important to follow if you have large amounts of shares on the stock and you're holding it for months to years plus. Then they take expense fees out of the portfolio expense ratio. There's a percent in your platform. It'll show you expense ratio or expense percent. That's the fee. But as far as an options go, I mean, Robinhood, I've seen them before. It's a federal fee, regulation fee. It's like 15 cents or less. It's nothing. Um, I wouldn't even consider it a problem at all. So I don't think there is a difference in zero DTE versus multiple day hold fees on that. Now, your own platform that you're using, your brokerage, they might have fees that are different than others. Robinhood doesn't charge like a transactional fee, but like maybe Schwab does, that kind of thing. And other countries too, I've seen people being charged a few dollars per transaction on, like in Canada, things like that. So, yeah, no, I know it's in options, but um, yeah, for options, your biggest fee you're gonna pay is theta, your time decay, and then you're also just your Greeks, bid ask spread changes, those kinds of things where they're gonna be a lot harder of a hit than okay. Oh, Robinhood, okay, Legends. I mean, I don't believe so. You could always ask support. Go to the support on Robinhood and ask if there's a difference in fee schedule for a zero DTE versus multiple day DTE. I don't think there is. If there is, it's going to be negligible in far comparison to your theta or your Greeks of the options. Yeah, if you don't know what Greeks are with your options, that is your foundational profit or loss. I mean, that literally makes your whole entire contract. If you don't know what the Greeks are and how the Greeks work, you need to get onto YouTube. You need to watch some of my videos, ask a lot of questions on the chats, because that is how you literally make or lose money quickly, mind you. Especially if you're doing zero DTE. There's been days where I've opened up stuff on zero DTEs on like Friday. What was it? SpaceX? I think it was SpaceX I was trying to play zero DTE on, and it was a $520 theta. Literally watched my contract just ticking down every 3 or 4 minutes, just simply based on theta. It was crazy. So you need to learn Greeks for sure. Not you, like whoever. If you're doing options, you gotta know the Greeks. Yeah, I am a gold member for Robinhood, so maybe I do get a little bit discount on any fees and stuff. But I think it's still very small, even if you're not a gold member. So, let's see, what else are we talking about? Closed Marvel call. Oh, I always forget about Marvel. I was in Marvel pretty heavy, ran that nicely. Then I sold it and I forgot about it. 821 option, which is minimum. Yep, it's a week out, right? Said $40 profit, then went and looked. My trade only showed $5 gain. Um, hard to give you advice on this one because without looking at the stock in comparison to that moment, it's a bit difficult. Um, so it depends on what the stock did in that 40 to $5 change. Uh, I don't know the Greeks. You need to. So here's a few things. If you saw $40 and what was the time frame that you went when you saw the $40 profit to when you saw the five? How long was that? Was that same day, a few minutes, next day, that kind of thing? That's gonna make a difference too. Yeah, because if you held it overnight, one day on a weekly expiration, you might be about $20 to $25 theta. Oh, 1 minute chart. Okay, so it was just very quick. I mean, heck, even bid ask spread could have done it. If you have slightly out the money, so your strikes are a bit higher than where current price is, your bid ask spread could have spread out, and that then reduces your premium. 2 minutes. I okay. Then I bet you it's a bid ask spread. Yep. If you open and close very quickly like that, that's my guess is bid ask. The Greeks wouldn't be as much of a hit on that for a 2 minute hold. It's going to be your bid ask. Yep. That's my guess. Jordan, if you want to jump in and that's fine, man. You can help out. But that's oh, I just got a notification. Iran and Oman have they're coming up with some plan to open the strait together. Okay, yeah, sure. So yes, bid ask. That's going to be a really big hit on your premiums. So if it says 100 or 1.0 and 2.0, you can go in at 1.50 if it lets you, or 1.75, right? But then all of a sudden, if you get into that contract and there's very limited buyers, that bid, the side where you're going to sell it on, is actually going to drop. So you can go from 1.75, then you're going to try to sell your contract, and instantly you've already lost. You're down $20 because now your bid jumped to 0.8, and now you need to get that 175 closer to the 0.8 to sell your contract off. And in the bad case, and this has happened to many of us, in the bad case that you enter an option and you actually have, you know, let's say at the worst case it's high, right? 2.25, that's $225, and you're holding it, and all of a sudden your bid goes to zero. Bam, instantly you have lost your entire contract because there are no sellers, and your system will say, hey, sorry, you lost it all because you can't sell this thing. So bid ask spread is very important. What's Jordan saying? Work is Slater right now slammed. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, bad ask. Mm-hmm. Market sell. Yep. Yeah. No, you don't have to jump in, Jordan. I was just, more the merrier, and you're one of our experts, and so people like to hear, kind of a collab situation, right? So yeah, yeah. For anyone listening, definitely watch your bid ask spreads on all of your contracts, even when you have contracts open. So there's a lot of times I'll be in USO, and if USO is starting to spread out, my profit will look nice, but if I go to sell it, I know I'm going to lose about 15% because I have to drop my mark all the way down toward bid. So you need to watch that. And so there might be days where if you're in an option like USO that loves to have wide spreads, ELF is one of them. ELF also has annoying spreads. You need to be careful on that because you easily can get into what you would think to be a nice play, and it ends up crushing you because you can't sell it. or you can't sell it where you need to sell it. So be careful, bid ask spreads. Very new, like days new. I'm going to do manual market open and manual market close. Limit orders, where you basically will look at the bid ask numbers and you're going to manually enter what you want, or you can go to the limit order side and then you can put in where you want it to be, and when the market reaches it, it'll buy or sell. Market orders is where it's just like, hey, I want to sell this thing, so just get rid of it, system, go. And the system will then just give you the next opportunity that might be the worst for you, right? So um, I was looking at USO, just seeing where we're at with this whole thing, but it's looking like we're still above this trend line here, and overall flat. So blah. Man, spy. Look at you run. Broke out there. Man, 746, 776 in only 1.5 weeks. Hey, anybody else recognize this shape? Let me get rid of some of this stuff here for you. It's kind of, it's not perfect, but it kind of looks like something Mo's talked about before. I see that makes sense. Yeah, yep. There's a lot of annoying stuff with options. It is a lot of annoying stuff. In a lot of ways, you can really get jammed up in a hurry. I don't know why I'm double down here. That's funny. We're gonna do this. We're gonna close that out. Maybe that's why I'm being bogged down. It's doing some weird. No, I'm still gonna bog down. All right. Let me get back into this SPY here, and I want to show you what I'm seeing. Turn off everything. All right. I could be wrong, or I'm not perfect, but Mo has. Yeah, there we go. That's right. There you go. Motorsports. You got it. Good job. That's what I'm seeing too. So I'm seeing a run, rise, run, right here. A lot of times, as Mo says, you have a flat area with a nice like leaning neck, and then the head, so it's just a flat run. You then get the stock Mo unicorn. So don't mind my ridiculous horn there, but I'm recognizing this as a potential, absolutely not a guarantee. And I'm not Mo. Whenever Mo calls out his stock more unicorn, usually it happens. But in this case, there's a potential here. We also have a really big weak spot. If we look at this right here, that area is a weak spot in the visual range profile. So there's very little volume right in this gap. And if you look back here, this thing blew through the Fibonacci. So it hit this red Fibonacci line and just exploded up to the 0 line. That's the most highest mark I had done on the Fibonacci from before. So that thing just gapped straight up, just blew through it, which is why we have very little volume on this area, because it just was all buys, just wee, So we need to be alert to this possibility of the Stockmo unicorn here. I'm not sure when it will start, if it will start, but we are above the prior Fibonacci line that I drew. um, prior, a few days ago, a week ago. And there's a potential here with building support. I can see this white line right there. This is, oh no, that's not part of, where is the, oh, it's down here. Okay, it's kind of hidden. Point of control is down here at 741. So, I mean, that's just going off of a major support level. It doesn't mean that we're going to fall back to that. Oh, my camera's gone. That's lovely. Give it a break. I don't know. Anyway, I would look at the levels being that if we're going to go from here, I think we could easily see 773 again to 72. So down to 72. And then if we fall from there, we have a large gap. Large gap if it's going to go back down to 760. So something bad's going to have to happen for that to happen, I believe. Um, we have some earnings coming out this week. Nothing significant. I know Walmart is a big one the market's looking at for like consumer sales and stuff. We have some Fed data. I don't think anything massive though. But yeah, there's a funny little shape here, huh? So there's a potential for that unicorn to start up. And if we have some good return, we get that unicorn into September, just in time for the FOMC meeting. Now we do have FOMC minutes on Wednesday, and that's where basically it's just a review of what the FOMC meeting talked about and revisions. So they have the minutes, but they also get to revise a few talking points in the minutes. And so there's a potential that the minutes can actually move the market a little bit because based on what the minutes have been adjusted to. So be careful there coming into Wednesday. I will be live Wednesday morning, so I will try to remind you of that. It'll be Wednesday at 2 or 2:30 will be the minutes Eastern time. So I'm going to leave this drawn, and we're going to see. I'm just going to take the arrow out. We're going to see if the unicorn plays out. You know, never know. Oh, I did have someone else mention something. I'm sorry. MNST Blake. MNST. I know Blake said he was. I think you said you were new. If I read that right in the Discord here. Colin's going live at 9 Pacific. That would be, what is that? That's 10 hour. Yeah, okay, 10 Mountain. So we have half an hour. I don't want to step on Colin's live, so I'll definitely be done before he goes live in 32 minutes. So if anybody wants to watch him do futures and learn on futures, he'll be over in the his channel and things in about half hour. MN was it MNST? Yeah, MNST. my camera froze my mouth open. That was funny. Look at that. Oh, that's so silly. Okay, what do we have? Monster. All right, Monster. We can get rid of the gold comparison. Don't need that anymore. Comparing gold Monster, that would be funny. Alrighty. I'm wondering if my camera is laggy because I had to download new readers and drivers for it when it wanted to drink some Red Bull, and actually it didn't want to. It got waterboarded, and I'm wondering if it's just struggling this morning because of that. It's scared because it knows I go to work tomorrow. That's when it happened. All right, Monster. We're gonna go out quite a ways just to, when in doubt, zoom out and see what we look like. Oh wow, look at that gap! Wow, yikes. So this covered the gap to this, so that's canceled. So we can just ignore this bottom here. So we can just jump straight over there. Let's turn on some volumes. Let's just see what the volumes look like. Anything decent pop up? On the daily, okay. Let's look for some trends. Seeing a line there, but that's out farther. Nothing significant there. Okay. Well, nice run. Took a while though, but I mean, pretty decent. Where is it going from here? Well, we can draw some rays and see if we can spot anything. Go off of that one, go off of this one. Clearly have levels here. Like fine tune my mouse right there. And then have another one. Whoops. Should lock that. Have another level right here. Really close to where we're at. So I would think at this point, I'm going to cut that box in half. It is a buy block. It's a buy order. So usually that ends up being bullish. It doesn't have to be, but it also runs right in line with the trend line, if that's a real one. You know, we're kind of making that one. So there's a potential here as we get closer to this week, tomorrow, into today. I would look for this level to hold or fail. We can turn Mo's thing back on now and see. All right. On the daily here, definitely have a bearish sentiment. 50 looked like it failed on the daily, though we're not over with today. So we'll see if this thing, where this closes in at. If it closes below this and tomorrow opens below the 50, then I'd be careful of this 45-ish level being the, support. And if that was to fail, I would expect it to drop down to about 43s, somewhere in here, 44, 43. If this can hold and this trend line is real, then we might get a pop here and rise again. Do they have earnings? Oh, they do. Earnings, of course they do. Not for a little while, though. Oh, October. Never mind, I forgot this is daily, so never mind. That's going to be ways. Just had earnings. Okay, so they beat. Sales up. Looks good. So looks like this is one of those beat and sold off earnings. You know? Short. Were you talking about the unicorn or are you talking about Monster Motorsport? Which one? I didn't see that pop in until just now. What short on the what? So there's my levels for Monster. I don't know much else about the company to speak too much to it. It looks like they priced in good earnings, and that's why it fell. It's like they expected from this earnings up, they did well, and so they profit took on this, priced it in, and then looks like profit taking into this earnings. It didn't drop significantly, but this earnings ran a lot. So to have it run a lot again, very possible. They did say it was up 20% revenue. So we could, somewhere around here, might be just the consolidation, profit taking, and then jump again. So look for a top end of obviously around 50 bucks. Low end 43 on the very low end, and then somewhere in the middle, and track off that trend line. Okay, Blake, hopefully you're still watching. Spy Unicorn based on Fed this week. It's just minutes. There is a few other Fed stuff. I don't know. I forgot which ones they were. They weren't huge. Is Jolts this week? I don't know if Jolts is this week. Jolts is the job report. I mean, yeah, they may not be a unicorn at all. We might just have a plateau that goes right to FOMC meeting or minutes, and then it drops. I mean, that's possible. Looking for a short if it breaks that line. Thanks for charting it. Yeah, that's what I would do. I give you both sides. I try to give you guys all both sides. I don't want to just tell you one way or another because obviously this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you when or where or how to buy. I'm showing you what the charts are looking like, where I'm looking at support resistances and possible trend line bias, and then you can choose from there. So, if this was to hold and we have a reversal, then likely, downside's probably less. If this thing was to fail, then we probably will have a downside to here. I don't have the visual range profile turned on. Might as well do that. So it gives us a little bit. It didn't give us too much right now. That will change and move as time goes on. But as right of now, we have some support. So just one of those things you have to kind of watch and track. Set some alerts if you're using Robinhood, or whoever. Just set your price alerts, and it'll just tell you when it moves in that direction. So you're always having to open a look at it, right? Yeah, just an idea. Oh, cool. So on Reuters, I just got a notification. Iran has shifted its policy from defensive to fully offensive. Well, isn't that just lovely? I mean, are we surprised? Oof. We have SpaceX kind of creating a bull flag. Not great for my put spread, I'll tell you that much. I have a note here, apparently, which did not work out. Why is... Oh, daily. Duh. All right. Oof. That is a doji. A doji. So the reason I have this note to myself on, I think it was the daily or weekly. Let me look. I have to remember. I remember the shape of this. Let me see. Was it the daily or weekly? No, it was weekly. So I don't think so. So it's kind of a middle one, isn't it? It's a tough one. So I was going off of this candle right here being the potential for an evening star, which is generally where you have a candle that closes here. It kind of breaks this one and then you fall from there. This clearly is upside weekly. Of course, today's first day. So on the daily, SpaceX is not following that pattern. I don't really know what to make of it on the daily, to be honest. I really thought it was going to fall. I don't know. Kind of is hitting a bit of a resistance level right here. But if we get shorter, let's go to a smaller time frame. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's your bull flag, right? Your flagpole. And then we have this level, this quite a clear level of resistance that if it breaks through, should be pretty strong. So the 15-minute time chart. Here's the 5. It's looking iffy. EMAs want to run. Bollinger Band has tightened up, right? You can see that tight bottleneck right there, right on the line. Now, a guru I used to follow, well, I do follow, a guru I do follow. That's I follow a bunch of them. Obviously, Mo is my top guy, but of course he collabs with a bunch of others too. So I follow a whole bunch of them, and one of them said a lot of times a failed bullish movement is a strong bearish movement. So it just means that if the stock has tried multiple times to break into whatever direction you're looking at, and it can't get there multiple times in the same time frame, generally it will eventually fail, and that will be a really strong reversal to wherever it's going. If it's downside, and then it'll pop bullish. If it's bullish, it'll pop bearish. Though, being that this thing has ran in a flagpole style, I feel like this is actually going to push through, though MACD says different. So it's going to be interesting to see what it actually does. What do you want from me? My phone keeps going off. I'm going to put on 2 just disturbs. If we have time, we check about breakout TSM that has come up on the Discord. Oh, someone talking about TSM on there? I'm not looking at Discord right now, so. Look at TTD. Oh, geez. You and TTD, bro. And PayPal. Although I have made a decent amount of PayPal. Oof, it's looking like it's going to break. It really is. It's trying hard. This thing either is going to break up hard or it's going to. Or it's going to. I'm seeing upside, to be honest. I really am. Family offices have built SpaceX positions totaling $3.8 billion on top of Nvidia's like 21 billion that they pumped into it. So yeah, I'm not seeing downside in this. I have that short going on it, and I feel like I need to just close it. Maybe roll it late, roll it. I don't know what to do with it. I'm already down 30%. That call I had on it, the call insurance I had on it really helped out. That thing that took 50% of the loss away. So really only down 15% if I consider my call insurance on it. So, man, I really don't want to close it, but there's just so much money being pumped into this thing. It's crazy. Totally crazy. I don't know. We're going to come back to this one. We'll come back to this one. All right, let's see. We wanted to look at TSM first and then TTD. A little bit of time left. Like I said, I don't want to cross over into Collins live. So breakout. Let's go with daily real quick. Yeah. We have a bullish run from down here when the 5 crossed the 13 and then the 15 crossed the 50. So that's a long-term continuation of bullishness, but definitely a very iffy on options. That would be very scary to hold through all of these red days just for, that would be worrisome. We've got a volume gap here. All right, let's move short time frame for the day. So we have opening. Let's turn orb on just to get an idea since we're looking at today. All right, so we have an orb breakout. Let's move to 5. Slight confirmation on the top end of orb. That's that green line. Yeah, your best bet would have been to run off of the 13.50 on the 5. Run up from there. Right now, I'm seeing weakness right now. Might get back down to the orb line here at 432-ish. And if you get a bounce, then maybe go back up. But it did run already pretty significantly from 28 to 34. So there's a potential for more height, of course, but it needs to have a bit of a calm down. RSI is... Why does this look funny? RSI is not bad. 67. So that's not too bad. MACD is looking iffy. So are you looking for calls or just like in general, like just like TSM growth. No, okay, so a breakout. So the bot said that, the Discord breakout bot. 460. Oh, yeah, that's clearly an error. Oh, 430. What I have 460? What am I reading? 460. 430 breakout. Well, yes. So we just looked at that. So we definitely had a 430 breakout. Um, if you look right here, what it's doing is it's talking to you about the 1 hour. You said. I think what it means is this candle it opened above the overnight hours. So to me, I would more so look at orb versus the bot there and break it down better. So we have here's a 430 level, and that's when you had the 15 cross the 30 on the 5 minute. So that's more what I would consider a breakout is right here. Then of course you had the orb breakout here where it broke the 432 high for opening range breakout orb. We broke out here, wick retested low, and then it kept going. Now it's looking tired. So will it keep going? I don't know. It could be another one of those unicorns, right? Where we have come in, go up, come in, go up, like that. It's a possibility. Or it's simply because it ran so much from the lows of this morning, it gets tired out and it falls right back down, into the channel. So for the price point, it's risky at this point. I feel like it's quite risky for the day, but maybe not. It's still early. It would have been really nice to get into that here at the 13 over 50 mid and at least run it to the top of the orb and then see how it goes and then run from there. That's where orb really works out well. Opening range breakout is because you have these points where it came down low, landed on the lower orb line, bounced, and then rose. What I said earlier, failed bias movement is a strong opposite. Failed bearish movement 1, 2, 3 times became a strong bullish movement, right? So this right here proves it. It works out nicely. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Blew through midline after 10, 15 minutes, and then we had the 13 cross 50, and there we go. So if you had opened a call here at this point, oops, that's not it. Right here on midline, you could have ran this bad boy up to at least the orb line, which would give you your 1.5 to 2, 2.5 would be, oh, I'm sorry, orb line's right there. So 3 would be here. I like to double my stop losses. And I would have put my stop loss much shorter, probably right there at that candle. So this is how I would have ran it off the midline right there. Boom. So I would have taken an opening here at the mid range in this green candle at for the 430 strike or 429 strike for in the money strike. And then I would have ran this bad boy at least up to the orb line or a little bit beyond, in which case you'd see this candle pop and we would sell somewhere in here at 433. So there's a $3 to $4 move right there, quite confidently basing off of Mo's bread recipe and also orb strategy. Yep. Well, orb is easy. They're more involved. Orb is easy. You have a 15-minute time frame, 15-minute candle right here. Okay, so you're opening 15-minute candle for me at 7:30 because I'm Mountain Time. So my opening range candle, I marked the top and the bottom, including the wicks. Move to a 5-minute time frame. And it's a bit busy right here. Let me turn off Mo's all of this stuff. Let's turn it all off. Okay, so ignore this orange one. That's a support from or resistance from before. So top of the wick, bottom of the wicks, in the 5 minute time frame, it'll look different. And you wait for a breakout. That's it. So in this case, it couldn't drop below, or it didn't drop below. So it worked its way back up to midline. It kind of stalled here for a little bit. And either it was going to come back down and try again, or it was going to fly back up. So clearly it had higher momentum. MACD was rising. RSI was rising. That gave you a hint, along with Mo's recipe here. I'm sure the EMAs were curling up, that this thing was going to rise. So going off of the midline, which is just the middle of the orb channel, it's very, just bloop, middle, that's all. A lot of times these stocks will sit in the middle and consolidate before they move. So orb may not prove to you right away. It might actually sit in the middle for quite some time before they actually run. But in this case, it worked out beautifully. So you could have ran your target sell point all the way up to almost 4. So a 0.75 to a 4 run, that would be a 429 strike or 430 strike all the way up to a 434 almost, really, up here. So, and I bet you the wick went above that. So your premium may have actually, if you had your top end premium already, like a sell order already in for a premium that was a tad higher, it probably would have gotten tapped and sold. No, it's a one. It's one. It's one candle on a 15 minute. See, right here. So I drew the wick off of this one and this one, not two. When you go down to smaller time frames, it'll appear different, but you base your wicks off of the first candle, including the wicks. As I drop time frames, then you'll have more candles drawn, but that's moving with your time frame, not backward. Yeah, no. I moved to 5 minute time frame. So this is a 5 minute. And so you'll see that candle wick on top. This one, there's your top wick of that opening 15 minute, right? There's the top wick. And the bottom wick is over here. Even though these wicks tapped, they touched, right? So actually that's not this one. It would be not really that. That's only 5 minutes. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter. Your 15 minute is this guy. Your first candle. And you can do orb on almost anything. I don't like orb on SPY or QQQ, SPX, things like that, because they're such a ginormous conglomeration of stocks. But individuals orb can work very nicely. Another one, let's look at TTD. We'll see if it works on TTD. So that's what Jordan wanted to look at. So here's orb on TTD, 15 minutes. There's your candle, right? Giant wicks. Giant top wick, bearish candle for sure, because you have a lot of your weight is at the bottom of that candle, right? So here's your 15 minutes. There's the candle. There's your midline. Go to 5 minutes. And we had a breakout down here. We had a confirmation right there. This is a beautiful confirmation right here. Actually, more so both of those candles. Okay, so we have a confirmation with the wick that did break the line a bit, but the next one came down with a nice doji, and then kept running from there. And we had some green volume, and it's dropped from there. So here we had the opening candle, move to a 5 minute, breakout, confirmation, and then downside. So there you go. Yes. Yep. For the first candle at the 15-minute time frame. So you have to wait till, if you're Eastern time, 9:46 for that candle to form, right? Or 7:46, on the 46. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. 46 because 9:30 Eastern is when it opens. So on the 46, you'll have a first candle, and you draw orb out from there, midline, move on from there. All right. Oh, Figure is up. I forgot who told me about Figure. Um, it was somebody in the Discord, Blurple or one of our mods in the Discord had mentioned Figure, how he likes it long term, and I'm getting notifications it's up 10% today. So I did put a little bit in there, not a ton. He sold a bunch of his elf and put it over to Figure. I'm still holding elf. In fact, I actually DC'd 2 more shares into it in the low not too long ago. So I'm still in elf. Let's see, did SpaceX break out? Oh, it kind of is. Kind of is. Man, crazy. Yeah, if this thing holds 2 more candles, it's gonna fly. I bet you. I bet you. Kind of feel like I should just close down my spread, my put spread. All right, I want to look at TDD long term. Let's just look at this real quick. Oh, Jordan, if you're still on. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. This thing is such a disaster. Wow. Yeah, I drew these downtrends a while back. I haven't looked at TTD in a while. And it held that whole down track. A little breakout here, but then it's like, screw it, we're gonna fall. Wow. I think these lines are orb I drew, and I think I was hoping for upside. You know, I think I was. I remember telling Jordan we should go long on TTD right here because it broke out, right, and it plateaued, and he was like, "Heck no, never touch that again." You know, dropped from 23 down to freaking 13. Giant gap on earnings. Well, no kidding. Earnings isn't going to be great. It's what did that just say? It grew 715 million, but margins declined and still missed. Okay. Whatever. This thing, oh man, it's crazy. The trade desk. The trade desk, yeah. All it's going to trade is downside. And I tell you what, if I had known, it would have been sick to run put leaps on this thing. And you don't think of leaps being downside, but holy cow. From last earnings, if you had run October 25, if you ran leaps to the downside on this double top here, because that's what this is. On a daily, this is a gorgeous double top textbook. Boop, boop, crash. Literally textbook double top. Man, $50 to 13. Holy cow. That would have been an absolute killer of a leap put. Looking at get 2 year leaps for calls, or follow it down to zero. At this rate, she's you might as well. Oh my goodness, dude. This orb low is 2.2. Long. I mean, God, what? At some point, it's got to turn around, right? Like at some point. Anyways, crazy. Thanks for shouting this out just because it's hilarious. Kind of makes me sad we didn't run puts, bro. That would have been so awesome. And that double top was so clear too. At least run it to here and then see, you know? That would be like a $7 move. And then just track it from there, right? Like, oh, this is so clear. So clear. Although hindsight's 2020, right? I mean, geez. Look at that gap. Holy cow. 113 to 85. So bad. Oh, it's on that earnings. That's why. Holy cow. That's that's so man. And this stock used to be like a runner. You know, this thing used to be like, I mean, look at this. $4 to 94 in a few years. Let's go after COVID, okay? 2015. 1 year ran from $15 at the bottom of COVID up to almost 100 in a year. Golly. Yeah. Keep an eye on TTD. You never know. I mean, this thing it said it had revenue up. It wasn't bad. Growth slows, Wall Street slashes targets. Well, obviously, yeah, it's but this thing said it grew 3% revenue. It's not a lot. Obviously, still missed its expectations, and it pissed off investors, and the market hates it. But I mean, it's not failing. Like as a business, it's not in deficit. So I don't know. All right, Colin's going live here. SpaceX. Oh, someone Motorsports said SpaceX ran like a champ. It ran like a champ. Whether it's going to continue today is the question. I thought we're going to see. So if we see two green candles, it's going to run. It turned red. So now it's going to get iffy. Now I'm not sure. Yep, you need at least three green candles in my mind to close this bottleneck right here at that support resistance level. I would like to see 3 minute. Okay, we're in 5 minutes, so fine. Two green candles and have that Bollinger Band breaking open, and it didn't do that. So we're still in consolidation in my mind with this bottleneck on the B band on the 5 minute. And the 50 is pretty low, So, anyways, I don't want to take any time away from Colin. So if anyone has any more questions, you guys go ahead and post it in the Discord. Otherwise, here's my ending video clip for you guys. Enjoy, and after it ends, I will be out of here. Link is in the description, also in the chat here for Lifetime Earner Plus. Get in there before the code ends and the prices expand, because they're going to get higher as always. Things do, and as they should, because honestly, you get so much with Earner Plus. So get in there if you're not. If you're monthly, let's do it. All right. Have a great one. See you in the Discord. I'm sorry about all the glitchiness today. At least it was my camera. Whatever. You don't need to see me. So, all right. Thanks for everyone stopping by, interacting, lots of comments. Enjoy the video. I'll see you out there.